Hi everyone, welcome back to Pivo Movies. Before we proceed, please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like and share this video and click the tiny bell button so you'll get notified for our new videos. The phenomenal true story of the black female mathematicians at NASA whose calculations help fuel some of America's greatest achievements in space, a 2016 American biographical drama film directed by Theodore Melfi and written by Allison Schroeder, Hidden Figures, starring the great actresses of Hollywood, Taraji P. Henson as Katherine Goebel, Octavia Spencer as Dorothy Vaughan, and Janelle Monáe as Mary Jackson. This is how the story goes. Among these problem solvers were a group of exceptionally talented African women. Before John Glenn orbited the Earth or Neil Armstrong walked on the Moon, a group of dedicated female mathematicians known as human computers used pencils, slide rules, and adding machines to calculate the numbers that would launch rockets and astronauts into space. It chronicles their careers over nearly 3 decades as they faced challenges, forged alliances, and used their intellect to change their own lives and their country's future. The pressure increases to send American astronaut in space after Yuri Gagarin's successful Soviet launch. The 3 protagonists have been used and asked for their contributory. Katherine Goebel was assigned to assist Al Harrison's Space Task Group given her skills in analytic geometry. She becomes the first black woman on the team, and her colleagues were somehow dismissive and demeaning, especially the head engineer, Paul Stafford. Meanwhile, Mary Jackson was assigned to the space capsule heat shield team, where she immediately identifies a design flaw. However, she was informed that she will not be promoted as there was no permanent supervisor for the colored group. Hence, Mary receives encouragement from her Polish Jewish Holocaust survivor team leader to apply for an official NASA engineer position. Perhaps she will be needing an additional certification courses, but it's offered only at the all-white men nearby Hampton High School. In here, Katherine meets National Guard Lieutenant Colonel Jim Johnson at a barbecue, but she is disappointed when he voices skepticism about women's mathematical abilities. He later apologizes and begins spending time with Katherine and her 3 daughters. When Harrison invites his subordinates to solve a complex mathematical equation, Katherine develops the solution, leaving him impressed. The Mercury 7 astronauts visit Langley, and astronaut John Glenn is very cordial to the West Area computers. Harrison is enraged when he finds out that Katherine is forced to walk a half mile or 800 meters to another building to use the colored people's bathroom. Harrison abolishes the bathroom segregation, knocking down the colored bathroom sign. Harrison allows Katherine to be included in their meeting, in which she creates an equation within that meeting to guide the space capsule during re-entry. Despite this, Katherine is forced to remove her name from the reports, which are credited solely to Stafford. Then Stafford said that computers cannot alter such things. Meanwhile, Mary pleads her case in court and wins over the local judge by appealing to his sense of history and being on the right of it. She is granted legal authorization to attend the segregated all-white school to obtain her engineering degree, although only denied classes. Dorothy learns of the impending installation of an IBM 1790 electronic computer that could replace human computers. She visits the computer room to learn about it and successfully starts the machine. Later, she visits a public library where the librarian scolds her for visiting the whites-only section to borrow a book about fortune. She steals the book and begins studying on her own. After teaching herself programming and training her West Area co-workers, she is officially promoted to supervise the programming department, bringing 30 of her co-workers with her. Mitchell eventually addresses Dorothy as Mrs. Vaughn, indicating her newfound respect. As the final arrangement for John Glenn's launch are made, Catherine is reassigned back to West Area Computers. Harrison told her that they no longer need computers in their department, and it's beyond his decision. As a wedding and farewell gift from her colleagues, Catherine is now married to Jim Johnson. Catherine is given a pearl necklace, the only jewelry allowed under the dress code. The day of the launch, discrepancies arise in the IBM 1790 calculations for the capsule's landing coordinates, and astronaut Glenn requests that Catherine be called in to check them. She quickly does so, only to have the door slammed in her face after delivering the results to the control room. However, Harrison gives her a security pass so they can relay the results to Glenn together. After a successful launch in orbit, the space capsule has a heat shield problem. Mission Control decided to land it after 3 orbits instead of 7. Catherine suggests that they leave the retro rocket attached to the heat shield for re-entry. The instructions prove correct, and Friendship 7 successfully lands. Following the mission, the mathematicians are laid off and ultimately replaced by electronic computers. Catherine is reassigned to the Analysis and Computation Division. Dorothy continues to supervise the programming department, and Mary obtains her engineering degree and gains employment at NASA as an engineer. At the end of the film, we see Stafford showing a change of heart, bringing Catherine a cup of coffee and accepting that her name is included on the report. An epilogue reveals that Catherine calculated the trajectories for the Apollo 11 and Space Shuttle missions. In 2015, she was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The following year, NASA dedicated the Langley Research Center's Katherine G. Johnson Computational Building in her honor. There are several reasons to see this movie, from a civil rights perspective, from a feminism perspective, from the perspective of the early space race when US lagged the Soviet Union badly. All in all, that is a movie that everyone needs to see. It relates the life of 3 women who have contributed a lot in American culture and success. The cast is outstanding. The music off the hook. The cinematography spotless, dreamlike, the right combination of colors and light to beauty. It also shows that intelligence connects beyond gender and race. I am referring to the roles played by Costner and the part of Glenn Allen that show true intelligence fosters tolerance, and it brings the human race forward. The story is touching, and it might spark a love for mathematics in you, even if you come from an anti-nerd matter. No need to mention that the Trinity, Spencer, Monáe, and Henson are as bright as the stars they are trying to reach in the movie. Costner, true to himself, is an incarnation of tolerance and genius, as I remembered him in The Bodyguard. And the guy who plays Glenn Allen is Candy for the Eye. These two reminds us that there are some nice folks out there and that intelligence breaks all barriers. Truly stimulating for the mind. One of the best movies I have seen lately. It allows us to have a better understanding about these hidden figures who were at the root of American space conquest, and it is also a way to acknowledge the value of their work, besides the acting and the filmmaking are good enough. And to conclude, even though the screenwriting remains interesting, I think that this story would have been a better documentary than the movie. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share this video. Bye!